Thanks for staying with us. Now, Christmas days are usually filled with excitement, but for these traders at the Makola market, Opera Square, the excitement turned into sorrow as their goods, running into several millions of Ghana cedis, were lost in flames. It took the fire service over 2 hours to douse the fire, which is said to have started around 10:30 this morning. However, Nancy Dradosi has been interacting with eyewitnesses and occupants of the stores, and they express worry at the late response from the fire service.
Scores of people were gathered at the Opera Square to witness an entire building up in flames. Eyewitnesses approached the news team to complain bitterly about how late it took the fire service to respond to their calls.
Service, you are just here. We called you several times. You are coming, you are coming, you are coming. For 40 minutes, we are not here, just here. And it was just a smoke. Just smoke. Just smoke. Our systems are not just working. We are pleading. Our systems should work in this country. If they came in about 20 minutes, like this wouldn't have happened.
That was not the only problem. They tell us how difficult it was for the firefighters to douse the fire, causing the fire to spread to other parts of the building.
Because
I've been here for the past 2 hours, and the firemen are finding it difficult to quench the fire. They lack the equipment to help them fight the fires.
Fire service almost almost 2 hours.
It would have been easier if they had all they needed.
Modern technology for Ghana Fire Service.
Although the Makola fire station is just 5 minutes away from the fire scene, firefighters claimed heavy traffic caused them to get to the scene after 45 minutes.
It's because of the traffic that delayed us. You see, when I went there, I was even commenting that today is Christmas Day. Why is that there are a lot of traffic and people are moving up and down? So they told me that even yesterday was worse. So the delay from the fire service getting to the fire scene early was due to human traffic and the vehicular traffic. So these two contributed to our delay of coming here. But they didn't call us 1 hour before you came here.
Eyewitnesses would not buy the traffic congestion excuse.
Fire service, office, from office to Babia, at the ACNA, and you can say it takes our time,
Look at where the fire station is located. They shouldn't blame it on traffic. There's nothing like that today.
Indeed, our news crew used the Makola fire station route, and there was no traffic congestion. Meanwhile, one officer is said to have been rushed to the hospital after sustaining injuries in the line of duty.
Now, the Christmas season brings with it heavy human and vehicular traffic to the capital city, especially the central business district. This comes with its attendant problems such as improper disposal of waste generated. Joy News' Henry Kwesibedu has been to the cucumber market in Accra and reports of a looming public health crisis because some streets have been turned into refuse dump sites.
Right in the heart of the South Industrial Area here in Accra is the cucumber market. It is the biggest foodstuff market in the country. Various forms of waste ranging from plastic and organic waste to liquid waste fill the drains along the streets. That's the sight that greets you as you commute along the Agbogbloshie stretch. Sellers tell me the situation gets worse as there are no collection bins. Some people have no options than to dump refuse here. Even though there are people in charge of refuse collection, they don't do it as promptly as possible.
The way our border is, we don't have that bin. Everybody throw border anyhow he like. But we need that bin. If we get that bin, we won't see that border at the roadside again.
There is not a single dustbin in Agbogbloshie, so we have no option than to dispose of waste in the drains and in around the market. The market is very dirty and unhealthy for us.
As I move along the stretch, some people here compound the unpleasant smell emanating from the gutters. The stench is unbearable for traders as well as buyers, but they have no control over the situation.
The place stinks. The collectors dump refuse in the gutters, hereafter amassing refuse in the market. There is nothing we can do. Since we have no control, the Zoom line comes once in a month when we organize cleanups. We need help because our customers complain a lot.
There are no buyers because if they come, the place is smelling. People don't want to stand and hear that there's a smell again, and they run away.
In some cases, traders openly sell their food items close to these dens. Some of the traders say they fear to speak out because they could be victimized for criticizing authorities. Others, however, appealed to authorities to do something about the situation. For Joy News, Henry Kwesi Bedu, Accra.
Now, on to other stories. Let's tell you why Deputy Minority Leader in Parliament, James Aveji, is questioning the credibility of the International Monetary Fund. The fund has been highly complimentary of the current government's economic performance. They famously turned down the minority's invitation to declare the $2 billion Sinohydro deal alone early in the year. Well, speaking to Joy News is Mr. Aveji, who's also the chairman of Parliament's Public Accounts Committee, says the IMF has shown double standards in some of its dealings with the NPP administration.
Christine Lagarde cannot come from Washington come and tell us that Ghana is on course. The individual, the ordinary man on the street knows what is happening to him.
Are you questioning the integrity of the IMF?
I am.
The IMF?
Yes, I am. I'm telling him that if Christine Lagarde comes to say that the economy in Ghana is good, the people on the streets will know whether the economy is good or not. That is my point.
What incentive has the IMF to lie to us about our true state of affairs?
You are using that word.
Okay, I mean, what word will you use?
I am saying that what Christine Lagarde is telling us is not the true position of what is happening.
So it's untrue. If it's untrue, it's a lie.
I don't use the word lie.
Okay, so what? It's untrue.
It's not true. It's not what is happening on the ground. It's not what is happening on the ground. So it's different from what is happening on the ground.
It's different from what is happening on the ground.
Yes.
They're not telling us.
I'm saying that if the economy in Ghana is good, I should feel it in my pocket.
But I'm
you also feel it in the pocket. The ordinary man on the street, you also feel it in his pocket.
But what incentive has the IMF to tell us this untruth?
I don't know. I think they are the best people to answer that question.
But to question the IMF credibility on such a very important matter.
I am not crediting their credibility. I'm saying that if they say the economy of Ghana is good, it might reflect in our pockets. If the ordinary Ghanaian feel that it is not reflecting in his or her pocket, then what IMF is telling us is not what is happening on the ground.
But your government, your IMF that you say, yeah, I am questioning, your government ran to the IMF when you were in trouble.
The people of Ghana felt that what IMF was telling them wasn't the position, and they voted the NDC out of power.
Oh, I see.
Oh, yes.
So the IMF that you ran
based on what IMF was saying all the time, were editing rosy, I don't think that people of Ghana would say the economy is bad, we will not vote for the NDC. They would have voted for NDC. They wanted a change.
But you thought...
And now, the same IMF is saying that everything is perfect, you're on course. You're moving, cruising very well.
But at the time you're making a decision...
But people on the ground think that we're actually not cruising.
You want to stay for the full interview on PM Express with Evans Mensah at 9 p.m. here on this network. But we're taking a short break for now. We still have more coming up, including why residents in Yendi in the northern region love Joy News.
My message for Joy News is that they should continue reaching out.
You're welcome back. Now, earlier we were talking about the 2 billion bauxite deal. Now, as Chinese firm Sinohydro prepares to begin construction of roads under the bauxite agreement, the minority in parliament is piling pressure on government to spare the Etiwa forest from destruction. The Chinese firm is expected to construct infrastructure in exchange for sales of processed bauxite from Etiwa and other forests. Well, Parliament earlier this month approved agreements for the first phase of construction projects worth $640 million, which is due to begin next month. Deputy Minority Spokesperson on Lands and Natural Resources, Kwabna Minta Akando, says the Etiwa forest deserves to be preserved.
Giving Etiwa forest out for 2 billion US Ghana cedis. In fact, it is not even Etiwa forest alone. We are talking about Awaso, we are talking about Kawie, and we are talking about Etiwa forest. These three places, three deposits for 2 billion US dollars. I think that we must have people to value these three deposits very well, especially the Etiwa forest. There are some species in the Etiwa forest that can never be found in any part of the world. It is one of the things in Ghana that makes Ghana very significant on the globe. Okay, and so it's been declared by the UN as a biodiversity area. And so we earn so much as a result of keeping Etiwa forest. So any responsible government should be thinking about conserving the few forest reserves we have, protecting it, given the rate of degradation of our forest reserves. So if you have a president, if you have a government who is thinking about further degrading the forest for only 2 billion US dollars, it's a cause for worry.
Meanwhile, a civil society group has petitioned Parliament to impress upon government to permanently ban small-scale mining. Government last week lifted the ban after 22 months. The group, Save Ghana for Future Leaders, in its petition warned resumption of the small-scale mining activities will destroy the environment. Ernest Annan led the group to Parliament.
We are saying that the government should ban all forms of small-scale mining. Currently, there has been the lift on the ban. We are saying our government should go back to impose the ban because mining is not being of any benefit. Gold mining is actually not being of any benefit to the nation. First of all, we are talking about our water bodies which are being destroyed. You understand? If the country continues to go this way, then we are denying the future, the future generation the opportunity to see an enriched environment like we are having today. Yeah. So because gold is not actually being of any benefit to the country. Yes. We are also talking about the fact that the ban has been lifted, right? But actually, the work is on the ground. During the time when the ban was imposed, we heard that some members of the team which were to stop the mining activities, like the police and army, they were being bribed. You understand? So we are saying that the actual work is on the grounds. So if we sit here and make laws and say there's a roadmap, then we are lying to ourselves. So mining should be stopped completely in Ghana. Yes. If small-scale mining should be stopped completely in Ghana.
But the ranking member on Parliament's Lands and Natural Resources Committee, Kwabna Akando, disagrees with the push for a permanent ban.
I cannot go with them. I am totally against it. I have been in the ministry before. I know the contribution of the small-scale, properly so-called small-scale mining to the economy. Okay, I've already said to you, I've indicated to you that the large-scale mining, okay, the large-scale mining, those who are so much involved in large-scale mining, a good proportion are not from this country. Okay, but I can say to you that more than 90% of the money that is derived from the small-scale mining stays in Ghana. Okay, so if we can have a very good practice, if we can observe all the rules and regulations in that sector, if we can encourage more people to invest in it, okay, because if you are observing the rules and regulations in the mining sector, it means, reclaiming the land and planting trees after mining. And that's a proper management of the environment. If we can do that, I don't have any problem about small-scale mining because it also serves as employment. And I think that
the minerals in this country is held in trust for the good people of this country.
Now, NDC presidential hopeful Alban Bachman says those predicting former President Mahama's victory in the upcoming presidential primaries of the party will have the shock of their lives. According to the second Deputy Speaker of Parliament, he has massive grassroots support, adding that with the right leadership, the NDC will win back power from the governing NPP in the 2020 elections. Mr. Bachman, who is predicting a runoff in the upcoming presidential primaries, also says his time in Parliament has given him enough experience to lead the NDC and subsequently the country.
The few that are supportive of him, who, by virtue of the fact that they were in government recently, in the recent past, and so will want to be given the opportunity to come back to government, can keep on with that wishful thinking. But I know that we have almost 280,000 eligible voters in the presidential primaries. 280,000 eligible voters in the presidential primaries. The National Congress that we just held for the election of the national officers had only 9,350 delegates. But as I said, we are now going for no less than 280,000 voters. And so if you have a few in Accra every day parroting what they believe will happen, I can tell you they may have a shock of their lives.
Now, imagine life without the ability to pass urine freely. That's the situation of 1.5-year-old Daniel Etonam Amuzu, who is suffering from a condition that doctors say may lead to his infertility. He needs 2,500 cedis urgently for a surgery to remove the skin coating his penis. Henry Kwesi Bedu has more.
Doctors no one almost 2,500.
Little Daniel Etonam Amuzu has been battling with a birth anomaly with his reproductive system. This anomaly blocks the usual opening for urine. The only way he can pass urine is through an opening beneath his penis. His mother, Martha Akobo, is disturbed.
It hurts anytime I watch my only son fail to urinate naturally. I always cry seeing Daniel playing around. I cry all the time.
Daniel was only a baby when his parents realized he couldn't urinate through his innate opening. He was referred to the Kolibu Pediatric Care Unit just 2 months after his birth from the Nsawam Government Hospital. Martha Akobo explains her son's surgery was slated for December 17, 2018, but because she cannot afford the 2,500 cedis, which is the cost of the surgery, it had to be deferred.
My plea is to the public to help with the initial amount of 2,500 Ghana cedis to carry out the surgery as soon as possible.
Innocent, playful Daniel, unaware of his condition. Is a sorrowful mother on Christmas Day begging for 2,500 cedis for a surgery that will help her son pass urine freely. Henry Kwesi Bedu's report for Joy News.
sad story there. And if you can help, just contact us at Joy News and we will pass on your donations to the family. You're welcome back. Now, disability, they say, does not mean inability. One man paralyzed from age 3 is giving meaning to the saying by taking his painting skills to the international market. My colleague Justice Bedu spent time with the only Ghanaian who is a member of the World Mouth and Foot Painters Association at his gallery in the central region town of Apam. Here's his report.
Slow but sure, Joel Achampon wheels himself into his painting gallery. In his work studio is the Red Wall, an eatery where you can have lunch while you admire his many paintings. At age 3, Joel had a physical disability when he contracted polio. As we meet, he has mixed different paints in a small bowl just beside him. There are about 10 small brushes, each of them for a different color.
My mouth has become my hand. It is what I use in picking stuff. I choose the colors and tell the people around me to mix them the way I want. I create the designs and do nearly everything on my own.
Joel had already begun learning to draw at 2 years. Since his disability, he learned to use his mouth to do what he could no longer do with the hands. He is drawing a portrait of the second lady, Samira Baumia, wearing a blue kaba dress with black stripes, a blue cloth headgear, and a red muffler around her neck.
I do not think disability is inability at all. All the things you see here, I did on my own, using my mouth. But I think people like me need to be supported to motivate others.
This is Tom having a foot painting. And then that's Joel.
Joel was discovered by celebrated British foot painter Tom Yendel while he was working on the streets of Kumasi. Now, he is the only Ghanaian who is a member of the Global Foot and Mouth Painters Association.
Tom has helped us to identify different kind of artists who are not mouth and foot painters, but artists. And then we have established a place for them to bring their works, and then we sell it for them, just to promote arts and culture.
In parts of Ghana, it is said that disability means inability. But Joel is showing that this is very, very far from the truth. Justice Bedu, Joy News, Apam.
Hand and foot mouth, what did you call it? Painters Association. Interesting there. Thank you for staying with us throughout the year. And shout outs to Francis Aban, who's been watching, and all of you who've been watching and sending us messages. Right. Thank you all so much. Have a good night. The music continues.
On the feast day of Christmas, my true love gave to me. Go to me, sing on your lewa, God, and a party in a bed, bro.
Is Joy News Prime.